Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning. First of all, let us praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of Allah's gift, we can follow the lessons in a healthy condition. Salawat along with greetings poured out to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And thank you very much to Mrs. Lina who gave us the opportunity to make a presentation of Recount text materials. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Vanisha Zalika Salsabila. I'm from Group 1. Along with my friends who will also present in this presentation, they are Ananda Septiani Edul Adha, Erina Shwasani, Nur Alifa, and Muhammad Ihsan Fahrin. Okay, let's get started the presentation. The contents of our presentation, there are definition, kinds of recount text, example of recount text structure, recount text characteristics, and simple past tense. Okay, the first slide is about definition. So, what is recount text? Recount text is a type of English text that has the function of retelling events or experiences that occurred in the past. This text aims to provide information and or entertain readers. So recount means describing how something happened or telling a story. Okay, the second slide is about the kinds of recount text. Well, actually there are many types of recount text, but on this occasion we will focus on personal recount, biography recount, and historical recount. The first text is about personal recount. Personal experience recount text is a type of recount text or story based on the personal experience of the author. This personal experience can be anything, such as an experience that is funny, fun, sad, or scary. The text is narrated chronologically to help the reader understand the sequence of the story. Because events have passed in the past, the tense used in this text is the simple past tense. Generally, this type of text uses the first-person perspective because the author writes directly about his personal experience. Personal experience recount texts are usually experiences that are considered interesting or memorable. The writer recounts what happens to the readers. Therefore, the function of text is to entertain the readers. Basically, the structure of the personal recount text is the same as the structure of the recount text in general, like orientation, events, and reorientation. Well, this is the example of the personal recount text. A trip to the zoo. Yesterday, my family went to the zoo to see the elephant and other animals. When we go to the zoo, we went to the shop to buy some food to give to the animals. After getting the food, we went to the nocturnal house where we saw birds and reptiles which only come out at night. Before lunch, we went for a ride on the elephant. It was a thrill to ride it, that nearly fell off when he let go of the rope. During lunch, we fed some birds in the park. In the afternoon, we saw the animals being fed. When we returned home, we were tired but happy because we had so much fun. Well, the next presentation will be continued by my friend.
Biographical recontext. Biographical recontext is the text that informs by recalling past events and achievements in a person's life, or the text that retells the story of a character in his or her life. The first, general structure of biographical recontext orientation. This provides the reader with background information for the character. It is worth paying attention to and must have a clear biography. The opening paragraph should answer the question who, what, where, when, and how. Series. It presents a series of events usually told in chronological order. Here the writer might refer to a certain time online. Reorientation. It consists of a type of conclusion with a comment on the contribution this person has my or a summary, the evaluation of the person assessment. The second, language feature of biographical recontext. Biographical recon use specific name of the people involved in the biography. It is mainly written in simple past tense, the final paragraph. A biographical recon also use linking words to do with time. A biographical recon describes events, so it uses many verbs or action verbs.
For example, R.A. Kartini. Each April 21, people in Indonesia celebrate the Kartini Day. It is a delightful day for the lady on the ground that we praise the conception of incredible woman R.A. Kartini. Everybody knows who Kartini is. She is our national champion and an extraordinary woman with a brilliant thought. Kartini was conceived in 1879, April 21 in Mayong, Jepara. Her dad was Rama Sosro Ningrat Awadana, associate of head of rule in Mayong. Her mom, Ma Ngasira, was a young lady from Teluk Awur town in Jepara. As the little girl of respectable family, she felt fortunate in light of the fact that she got more than the standard individuals got. She improved instruction than other youngsters. In November 12, 1903, she wedded Adipati Joyodiningrat, the head of Rembang rule. As per Javanese custom, Kartini needed to tell her spouse. At that point, she moved to Rembang. In September 13, 1904, she gave a conception to her child. His name was Singgi. Anyway, subsequent to conceiving a child, her condition was deteriorating and she at long last passed away on September 17, 1904 on her 25 years of age. Presently, Kartini has gone. Anyway, her soul and dream will definitely be in our heart. These days, Indonesian ladies' advancement is affected by Kartini's soul expressed on accumulation of letter, habis gelap terbitlah terang, or from the nightfall to the first light.
Now, we will tell about historical recount text. So, what is historical recount text? Recounts are historical stories in English. As with any form of recount text, historical recount uses the simple past tense in writing, because what is being told is an event that occurred in the past. The things that are written as historical stories are usually important events, historical places, historical objects, and so on. Historical recount is a form of recount text whose contents tell about historical events. As the name implies, the social function of historical population is to retell about historical events. By reading or seeing historical stories, we will appreciate the service of the heroes involved in it.
So, this is the example of historical recount text.
Recount text general structure. There are three structures of recount text. The first is orientation, the second is events, and the last is reorientation. Well, the first is orientation. Orientation in this first stage, the authors asked to provide an introduction in the form of information about what, where, when the event or incident occurred in the past. In this section, the author is expected to provide the reader with the information necessary to understand the entirety of the text. It can be seen in the example of orientation. The text is information about what, where, when, the events, or incidents that occurred in the past. Well, the second is events. Events in the second stage, the writer can convey or tell the events that occurred. Authors are asked to write stories in chronological order, like in the first day, in the next day, and in the last day, etc. As an example of events, it can be seen that in the text, it uses a chronological sequence or a time sequence from the beginning to the end of the activity. The last is reorientation. This last stage is the stage of repeating the introduction in the first stage. The existing loop summarizes all the events or incidents that were told. In the last stage, the writer can write a summary of all the events or incidents that are told. Authors can also write comments or personal impression. It can be seen in the example of the reorientation. The text is a conclusion, and in the reorientation text, can also write comments and personal impression from authors.
Number 5. Recount text characteristics. 1. Using past tense sentences. For example, I spent my summer in Yogyakarta and I was very happy. Number 2. Using verb action. Example, spent, went, brought, took, etc. Number 3. Using conjunction and time connectors to sort events or occurrences. Example, and, or, after that, etc. Number 4. Using adverb and adverbial phrases to express time, place, etc. Example, last month, in Malang, lately, etc.
Now we will tell about simple past tense. Simple past tense is a form of tense that describes an event that occurred at a specific time in the past. The verb used in this tense must be the second verb or verb 2. The simple past tense has a 3-sentence form that are positive, negative, and interrogative. The formula sentence of positive form is subject plus verb 2 plus object. For example is, we attended the festival last week. Can also subject plus to be plus adjective or adverb. Example is, she was absent yesterday. The formula sentence of negative form is subject plus did not plus infinitive verb plus object. The example is, we did not attend the festival last week. Can also subject plus was or were plus not plus adjective or adverb. The example is, she was not absent yesterday. For interrogative form is did plus subject plus infinitive verb plus object. The example is, did they attend the festival last week? Can also was or were plus subject plus adjective or adverb. The example is, was she absent yesterday? Then that's all our presentations from group 1. Hopefully it can be understood and useful for all of us. Thanks to Mrs. Lina for giving us the opportunity to make presentations. Apologize if there are still many mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.